You would be amazed at what kind of movement you can get. These are 3 key signs that your specific person is on their way to you. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, to this video. Welcome if you're a new viewer, probably are because my SP content tends to be my most popular. So please do click the subscribe button, thumbs up the video if you watch and you actually enjoy, and turn on that notification bell because you want to stay up to date. Be one of the first people to view the videos if you want. It's free, it supports my channel, and lets YouTube know that you actually want to see my content. So the title is self-explanatory. We're about to jump right into today's video, but right before on screen as well will be all the extra information. If you are interested or new, you're wondering maybe how to get extra support, or you have specific manifesting questions that you want answered, then you can become an LOA coaching darling, or you can sign up for one-to-one coaching with me, and everything is right below the screen. And yeah, I have tried a slightly different look. I was thinking maybe any American viewers might say it's kind of is it like a pilgrim look? Is that what people would call it? Kind of like Victorian style. I've got a little ribbon in my hair at the back. But yeah, all of that kind of related vlog content, fashion, beauty is going to be on my vlog channel, but I'm trying a new look. But yeah, anyway, now let's jump into the video. You will very likely experience an inner sense of calm. You'll feel much more calm and not put together necessarily, but balanced. You will feel like more kind of whole and calm, and things will just kind of not trigger you the way they used to, and you will feel just emotionally more balanced, mentally more balanced. Your thoughts and emotions won't be jumping up and down all over the place. Another sign tying into what you'll experience internally is that your affirmations actually start to feel like second nature. They start to feel more natural. So meaning that your affirmations are going to just kind of seem more believable, more like you're just saying a natural statement. You're not forcing it. You're not pushing against mental resistance or emotional resistance and kind of feeling bad. It just kind of feels like, yeah, of course I'm, me and SP are together. Yeah, of course I'm saying, that me and SP have an amazing relationship. Your affirmations will start to break down that resistance. And then as you say them, obviously that breaks it down even more. It's a cycle of applying repetition, using your affirmations. It leads to internal momentum and changing and conforming, where your mental state and emotional state balances and aligns with what you're manifesting, with being with your specific person. And then the affirmations become more natural and you say them more easily. You say them in an automated way and it increases the effect. So yeah, it's kind of this really beautiful cycle where the results are going to come in naturally, building up day by day just by applying that repetition. And the more you do it, that is more of a sign that movement is happening, because not only are you staying consistent and persisting, but you're breaking down that resistance internally. It's your subconscious mind that you're convincing. So remember that movement is always happening. It's not that you have to force it or there's a certain trick that leads into movement or breaks down that barrier. It is always happening if you are obviously consistent. If you are generally thinking positively and not having opposing negative thoughts and visuals and, anything to do with that, where you're applying your mindset regarding your specific person, then movement is happening. And that in turn, as I said, leads to your own thoughts and feelings conforming. That is the first step. You're not casting a spell and then your SP is being impacted and changing. You are first changing your mind, your own subconscious mind. And when your thoughts and feelings conform regarding that, then it's almost like a domino effect from there. So I guess if you say there is a trick to getting movement, then yeah, technically it's your subconscious mind, but it builds up and you're convincing yourself first. So overall, the first most important step is your mindset. That's why that's the first key sign here in this video. And if your own thoughts are conforming, then obviously your specific person is conforming as well. So as I mentioned earlier, if you start to feel more confident, you've been doing all of this, you've been kind of feeling these effects, you will become more and more confident. The 3D circumstances, the issues that you're feeling and experiencing, and whatever analysis you're applying to what you're seeing in your 3D, whether it's exactly the same for the last 3 weeks or something bad came in, whatever, you will feel more confident, more balanced, more capable of dealing with those issues and not catastrophizing it, and just overall trusting the process. That's kind of what you want to do. Have that faith in the manifesting process, because you understand the power and the science behind how your mind works and how it changes your 3D reality. So I will say along the way, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, you might be thinking to yourself, doing a little audit of your own thoughts and where you're at. You don't have to fully believe it, and it doesn't need to be perfect. So your thoughts don't need to be 100% aligned with being in a relationship with your SP or having complete faith and belief in the process and what you're manifesting. It builds up on its own, so it doesn't need to be perfect. I just wanted to add that in. And as you're actually building that up, it's not just that it will lead into results. It does have a direct impact and correlation to your specific person. If you're shifting into this new version, new story, and new identity of being in a relationship with your SP, being someone who is chosen, loved, valued, secure, and with your desired person having this desired relationship, then they have to start to reflect that. Whether it's done slowly, internally, behind the scenes initially, maybe they're having their own dreams, which is another sign, or, just things going on where it's not this instant, really significant, direct type of movement. They are reflecting that. It's getting mirror reflected to them, and then their actions and thoughts reflect that. But I'm going to tap into a little bit more of the SP aspect, but I wanted to start first with what's going on in your own mind that is leading into movement. And because you are now, building into this state, you're going to have less validation and less reliance on your 3D. So no matter what comes up, no matter what lack of visible movement there may be, or whatever the circumstances are with this specific person right now, it's not going to trigger you. You're not going to sit around hoping, waiting, reaching out for this validation and reassurance. You're going to be more secure in your own mind, deciding for yourself what your reality is, having that power and that kind of, not self-knowledge, self-control, self-awareness, that kind of thing, where you're just saying, no, I'm not going to react, or, oh, okay, here's me applying my mental diet because something negative showed up. But actually, I'm deciding, I'm going back to that new story and reaffirming that as my present reality, because that's what creates it and that's what brings it into your actual reality. Not saying, oh, if the 3D shows something positive, then I'll be happy. It's the other way around. So as I also mentioned, just to quickly add in about having dreams, that's another sign internally where even though you're asleep, your subconscious is awake. Your subconscious is always functioning, always creating visuals, thoughts, imagery, storing all the knowledge, assumptions, and beliefs that you hold on to. And, having dreams is a reflection of that. If it's a positive dream, that's probably, tying into your SP, then that's most likely a sign that your subconscious mind is saturated. You have been applying, repetition. You've been really doing everything correctly, and now it's being reflected literally in your subconscious mind as you sleep. If it's negative, just revise it or let it go. That's not necessarily a sign of anything. It could be those old fears coming up maybe around dating or relationships. But yeah, overall, when you persist in this, when you focus internally, what's going on? How can I improve it? How can I stay focused on my desired outcome? That's when the contact, the commitment with your SP all starts to unfold naturally. If you feel like you've already achieved the first step, or you feel really good, you've been feeling better, you've been seeing internal improvements, you've been thinking more positively, you just know the step one that I just mentioned about the key sign, you are already kind of in that state, then you're very, very likely to experience visible movement at any point in your manifestation. It's a 50-50 chance you will have visible movement along the way, especially with an SP relationship. There most likely needs to be some form of movement before the full end result forms. However, you will probably have visible movement, but this is the stage at which things do start to unfold in a much more significant, visible way. So even if things aren't perfect, maybe you haven't resolved everything you want resolved in the 3D reality in terms of contact, spending time with or getting to know or developing this relationship with your SP, if it's not there yet, you can still have that visible movement and it still is a really positive sign. This one goes without saying, but obviously if your SP is communicating in a more positive, committed or devoted way in any way, where they are maybe prioritizing you or expressing their care and, thoughtfulness towards you, anything that would imply some form of commitment and care and, just being very loving, any kind of communication like that, no matter what else is going on, is positive movement forward. And next, I will say if there was any kind of external or third party interference or blockage, some kind of negative influence that may be in the way. It may even just be things that people say, or an external person's, a third person's reactions or thoughts towards your relationship, that in itself changing is seeing no signs of a third party. So obviously not seeing any signs or reflections of third party interference or anything that's blocking your relationship with them. That's also a positive sign, because it's been, even just in the present moment, temporarily removed. That is a positive thing. So recognize that. You don't need to analyze it, but if it comes to mind, or you're just self-aware in the moment and you have that realization, that is positive movement forward. So if you don't waver, if you stay committed, then all of this is likely to unfold more and more and lead into your specific person actually taking action. So whether or not you know your SP, they are likely to do something, say something. It may be to another friend, a mutual contact, throw a party, and then that maybe could lead into a bridge of events. They are likely to start taking some form of action that leads the relationship closer, kind of a bridge of events. And this entire time, as you are changing your own assumptions and beliefs, your SP is also having their beliefs change, their assumptions, the way they think about dating, relationships, how much they value you, maybe forgetting or kind of, kind of shifting their beliefs and assumptions and justifying past issues, forgiving and forgetting, that sort of approach. They are likely to develop much more positive assumptions to you or the idea of someone like you if they don't know you yet. They will, of course, more and more consistently become this new version. So again, whether or not you're seeing it, doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that it is coming together, it is developing. And the more consistent you are, the more their words and actions about you or towards you will align with that. Remember that your specific person reacts to your new story, where your dominant focus is what you hold on to. So the version of you that you see yourself as, loved, valued, chosen, confident, that's who they're going to view and reflect back to you. That's how their thoughts and actions will reflect, where you're at. So remember, it can still be hot and cold as you're doing this. It doesn't have to be perfect, as I said, so don't panic. Things don't have to be 100% aligned perfectly just yet, but it's ultimately your mind that needs convincing. You're not trying to convince or force a change in your SP. You're changing the way you think. When you see your own 3D reality start to shift and you start to feel and see even just those birds before land start to come in, you know that your 3D reality is conforming. So I know that sounds like a redundant statement, but when you actually see that, this is movement. This is tied to my manifestation, something tied into the concept of dating, relationships, commitment, something relating to your specific person. All of this is positive signs that when you add it all up, your 3D is conforming to bring in this relationship and the opportunity to have a bridge of events. Things that start to change, maybe the way you live your life day to day, positive habits, improvements, things that maybe you let go of where you were in a panicked, anxious state about your 3D reality. All of that can lead into creating naturally a bridge of events in your 3D reality and an opportunity for certain conversations to come up, things that maybe wouldn't have happened in the past before you got to this point. So if you're seeing even other people reflect back to you your affirmations or bring up your SP or have positive conversations that tie into the relationship you want, all of this is a bird before land, a sign, maybe even a bridge of events. So be open, don't overanalyze, just trust and say, okay, this was positive because the content of what happened was positive in some way. It tied it back to my SP manifestation. Therefore, this is a sign. I'm on my way there. Take it all as a positive win along the way. Try not to panic if it's negative, because there's just so many endless signs and potential for your 3D reality to reflect back to you that you already have what you want, that it's on its way to you, and that your relationship is coming together perfectly. So just trust in everything, keep persisting, stay consistent, and I'm going to leave this video here. See you guys next time.